You're not broke, you're not rich, but you're one emergency away from both. That sentence makes people uncomfortable because deep down they know it's true. Most people think being middle class means they're doing fine. They pay their bills, they have a job, they're not struggling like they used to. From the outside, their life looks stable. But stability and safety are not the same thing, and confusing the two is one of the most expensive mistakes people make with money. The middle class isn't poor, but they're also not free. They live in a narrow space where everything works as long as nothing goes wrong, and nothing feels wrong until it suddenly does. You wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. Money comes in, money goes out. The system seems balanced, but it's balanced on a knife's edge. One job loss, one medical bill, one unexpected expense, and the entire illusion collapses. That's not bad luck, that's design. We were taught that if you get a good job, earn a steady income, and play by the rules, you'll be secure. But nobody explained what secure actually means. They defined success by income, not by resilience. They told us how much we should earn, but never how much we should be able to survive without earning. That's where the lie begins. Because income doesn't protect you, savings do, ownership does, margin does, and most middle-class lives are built with almost none of those things. If your paycheck stopped tomorrow, how long could you survive without changing your lifestyle? Not how long before things get uncomfortable, how long before they break. For most people, the honest answer is a few months at best, sometimes weeks. And that's not because they're irresponsible, it's because the entire system encourages them to look stable instead of being stable. Middle-class life feels safe because the danger is quiet. There's no alarm, no warning sign, no dramatic moment that forces you to change. Bills get paid, credit cards smooth over problems, financing makes everything feel affordable. You don't feel rich, but you don't feel desperate either. You feel normal. That normal feeling is what keeps people trapped. Because urgency only shows up when pain becomes obvious. And for the middle class, pain is delayed. It accumulates slowly, silently, over years of small decisions that feel harmless in isolation. A car payment here, a bigger apartment there, a few subscriptions, eating out because you're tired, upgrading your phone because you deserve it. None of these things ruin you on their own, but together they create a life where your income is already spent before it arrives. You're not choosing where your money goes, you're honoring commitments you made years ago. That's the payment mindset, and it's one of the most powerful traps in modern finance. Ask someone how much their car costs, and they won't tell you the price, they'll tell you the monthly payment. Ask them about their lifestyle, and they'll justify it with affordability, not ownership. As long as the payment fits, the decision feels responsible. But payments don't measure cost, they measure tolerance. Financing trains people to think small. It hides the total price and spreads the pain across time, making expensive choices feel manageable. And when everything is measured in monthly amounts, people stop asking the most important question: what is this costing me long term? A $600 car payment doesn't feel dangerous, but over 5 or 6 years, that's tens of thousands of dollars that could have been building assets instead of depreciating in a driveway. A slightly nicer apartment doesn't feel reckless, but over a decade, it can erase the margin that would have protected you from stress. This is why so many people who look successful feel anxious all the time. Their income is high, but their flexibility is low. Their lifestyle is impressive, but fragile. They've optimized for appearance, not durability. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Making more money doesn't automatically fix this. People love to believe that once they cross a certain income level, all their problems disappear. But lifestyle expands faster than income for most people. A raise doesn't create freedom. It creates permission. Permission to spend more. Permission to upgrade. Permission to lock in higher fixed costs. That's the why people making $40,000 feel broke, and people making $140,000 also feel broke. Different numbers, same pressure. Because the problem isn't income, it's the structure built around it. Wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep,
how long it lasts, and how little it depends on your next paycheck. The real divide in society isn't between high earners and low earners. It's between people who own assets and people who rent their entire lifestyle. Assets give you leverage. They grow while you sleep. They buy time. They create margin. Liabilities do the opposite. They demand constant income just to exist. Most middle-class people own a lot of liabilities and almost no assets. Cars, clothes, gadgets, subscriptions, upgraded experiences. Meanwhile, their investments are small, inconsistent, or delayed for later. Later is the most dangerous word in personal finance. People tell themselves they'll start saving later, investing later, building later. Once things calm down, once they make more, once they feel ready. Life never calms down. What actually happens is that later turns into panic. People wake up one day and realize they've been earning money for decades, but have very little to show for it. They did everything they were supposed to do, and yet they're still worried. That realization is brutal, and for many people, it comes too late to fully fix. The middle class isn't stupid. They're busy. They're tired. They're doing what they were taught, and the system rewards them just enough to keep them comfortable, but not enough to make them free. Comfort is expensive because it removes urgency. When things are okay, there's no reason to sacrifice, no reason to delay gratification, no reason to question the structure of your life. Until something breaks. A job loss, a health issue, a market downturn, a family emergency. That's when the illusion disappears, and people realize that stability without margin was never stability at all. Real security isn't about income, it's about options. Options mean you can say no. Options mean you can walk away. Options mean a bad month doesn't become a bad decade. And options come from margin. Margin is the difference between what you earn and what you need. It's savings, it's investments, it's low fixed costs, it's flexibility. Building margin isn't glamorous, it's boring. It requires saying no when everyone else is saying yes. It means driving the older car, living below your means, ignoring social pressure, and prioritizing future freedom over present comfort. That's why most people don't do it. The middle class isn't a failure. It's a comfort zone that slowly drains you if you never question it. Escaping it doesn't require becoming rich. It requires becoming intentional. It requires understanding that money is a tool, not a reward. That income is a starting point, not the finish line. The goal isn't luxury. The goal is control. Control over your time, control over your choices, control over your future. When you build enough margin, something shifts. Money stops feeling fragile. Emergencies stop feeling catastrophic. Decisions stop being driven by fear. Not because life gets cheaper, but because you become stronger financially. The biggest lie about the middle class is that it's safe. It's not. It's just quiet. And quiet problems are the ones that do the most damage over time. The people who escape aren't smarter. They're more stubborn. Stubborn enough to delay gratification. Stubborn enough to build when nothing feels urgent. Stubborn enough to ignore a culture that equates spending with success. Because real success isn't about being able to afford everything. It's about being able to lose everything and still be okay. That's the difference nobody explains. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.